Welcome to Gasket, Gauges, and Gossip. This is your ultimate motorsports and automotive sleepover. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, because the engines are running. Hello, darlings. Welcome back to Teacups N Tyres, where every lap begins with a perfect brew. My Mirrorless with the horsepower, elegant, and just the right amount of edge. The sleepover queen, Blair Waldorf, would even MD. I am TNT, and tonight we sip, spill, and sparkle. So I am back only to record one new video this year because a lot of my videos were already pre-recorded. So yeah, I want to talk about this topic, so let's get straight into it. And just a quick life update. Yes, I am still in the motorsports automotive industry. I just had to rearrange my plans, and I don't want to talk about anything until it happens, so that's where I am. We'll be right back to our scheduled program after this break-checking news section with Teacups N Tyres. 2026 season introduces two new teams, Audi and Cadillac. This is old news. We've been hearing about it for forever, but I still want to mention it in this video. Next, we'll have Quickenberg's podium. Obviously, as a fellow German, I had to say something because if you represent the fatherland, you represent Iowa, so Renault to Hülkenberg. And next we'll have Yuki Tsunoda. Now, those breaks my brain. I don't know about this. I really hope he's on the grid next year. I'm okay if he goes back to Racing Bulls, but Red Bull needs help. I mean, would it really be hard for the main Red Bull team to make a car that is competitive for the second diamond? Then we have to figure out where Verstappen is going if he stays on Red Bull. I don't know. 2026 is going to be interesting. But now we have another headache of the grid, which is Ferrari, the Ferrari problem. I don't know what to do with this team. So there's another fact about the Ferrari problem. Ferrari is the culture, so you have to find the perfect people who can pretty much whip the Italian culture into shape. As weird as that sounds, that's what needs to happen. So Root trained was 90% of their car. When the car was fine, okay, last year. I was hoping that they were looking forward to 2026 and this was a mulligan year, but this is just idiotic. And then on top of that, being that this is an Italian team that speaks Italian, I'm pretty sure there is some language barriers that's happening over there, so somebody needs to learn Italian or somebody needs to learn English because there's a void. And so the people that are going to be working with the international company, everybody speaks English. No. It's an Italian team in Italy. If you're going to speak Italian. I just want to take a second to say R.I.P. to Roscoe. Obviously, Sir Hamilton Motovaccio lost his dog. And I just wanted to give a moment for that. We talked briefly about the problems, as in language barriers, the Italian culture, XYZ. But now we may be making a deal with the devil, and I'm not sure about this one. Now, I'm not in. It was better to have the person who stabbed you in the back on your team, and you left him with the knife, than have him work against you. Now, this is some Auto War 5B level chess move there. But would it be so bad to have the person that made Abu Dhabi 2021 happen on your game? And then another part of me is wondering how bad does Sir Hamilton Motovaccio really want number 8? Because, I mean, shake hands with the devil to get your number 8 and number 9? I'd be on 110% say that Bass HL has much more integrity and character than I do. Because I'm kind of like an any means necessary type of son. So, I don't know. But is it really worth it to have number 8 with drama behind it? I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe just struggle for number 8 without him. Right. I'm talking about this from an NBA business perspective. Business perspective, that is so much drama that is not going to flare on with the Italian culture. Point blank, period. But from a racing standpoint, it may be a good idea. From then, some business standpoint, you have to think of what will happen to Vassar. And then when you go back to Launder, Horn would come in by himself without Newey, and that was an integral part of what happened at Red Bull. But this is just honestly a headache. I'm not has been break-checking news. Now, back to the regular scheduled program. I bet me about that out the way. Right, I was sitting in my depression. I don't know motorsports clean, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And then I got an interesting email in my inbox. I'm right, would say I'm taking a break from all those bullets. I'm still getting everything on my phone. I'm just not adamantly watching it as I used to be. You know, while I'm on the social media break, internet break, whatever, I shouldn't be getting any notifications. But I keep getting multiple notifications from a random company through F1 Academy. So before I went on this break, I was supposed to do a rant thought video with a lovely spark plug of why I do not like the F1 Academy. But before I even could take a moment to breathe, get my thoughts together to do another Granite style video, the F1 Academy does something annoying again. So, F1 Academy has decided to partner with Hello Kitty and Friends for the Las Vegas GP. Now, before you guys were like, oh my gosh, you're just hating because you just don't like Hello Kitty, you're just blah blah blah, you get confirmation bias, all this. No, this is not the reason why I can't stand it. I am actually a genuine Hello Kitty fan, and I don't want to show too much pictures of my personal life because I am anonymous, but these are the actual things of Hello Kitty I have in my room. And as you see these pictures, I decorated my snowboarding helmets for this season to have the Hello Kitty aesthetic. It's decked out in Hello Kitty and anime stickers, and I have a Hello Kitty travel blanket. Trying me even filming this video suiting in Hello Kitty PJs with the cute little earballs on. I don't know how much of a genuine fan I am of this company. I've said in other videos that I'm perfectly fine with most parts, with some parts of the capitalistic aspect of Formula One. So from a business standpoint, I understand this branding. But that's really not why I'm upset. I think we're already in the day and age where most people, unfortunately, do not care about F1 Academy. And then you want to throw the most girly pop thing on top of it. Great, but practically unexpected. There was a genuine connection to add Hello Kitty in the F1 Academy, but you're doing it because you're girls. But that's the only reason this is happening. From what we mean by that is the idea of Hello Kitty has the same type of connotation as Barbie, at least for most girls. The idea that you can do anything you want to. So, with the idea of Barbie and Hello Kitty, with the premise that you can do anything you set your mind to, F1 Academy is not showing that. F1 Academy is not helping girls get to F1. Editing TNT here. I'm realizing I'm saying girls instead of women. Sometimes I'm saying women. So, on me, these words interchangeably, no disrespect. It's just what I say is just how I'm gonna say it. So, as you've heard, I don't believe that F1 Academy is doing anything to help women, girls in Formula One. But let's talk to people who actually worked in Formula One. So first off, we have Claire Williams. I don't really have much to say about her and the Williams brand and team as its own, but with that being said, let's just get right into her quote. So, very much on Bentley's quote, she's saying that she's perfectly fine with having a lemon driver. I don't want the word female, we're not dogs. Driver on the grid, but they have to be the best for that position, which makes sense. So, the problem that I have with this quote is kind of the same problem I have when people are discussing DEI. Obviously, the best person is going to get the job. It doesn't matter gender.
You guys were young and your parents said, what would you like to do at the weekend? Occasionally you might say, I'd love to go go-karting. Girls of your generation, we wanted to go and play with our Barbie dolls and do all that kind of girly stuff. When you don't have girls starting karting at that young age, they don't then create that funnel going up through the pyramid to reach Formula One. Why can't women develop themselves so that they are as strong as men? Because physicality is about going to the gym and putting the work in, isn't it? It's only because it's not how society has been arranged. If female bodybuilders can build their body up to that degree, why couldn't I build my body up to then be able to withstand the forces of a Formula One car?
This is a situation where it is, do you have the right physical qualities to be able to handle the condition?
So she does give out a couple of good points, but because of situations I am side-eyeing her a bit. And so let's just go ahead and break it down. So the first thing she said, Al, when you're a certain age, you say, oh, I'm going to play Barnabies instead of going karting. Are you giving girls the opportunity to go karting? The answer is completely no. Most girls do not have the means, the parent, the money, the space, the anything to start karting. You're talking about a $5 Barbie doll compared to the hundreds and thousands of dollars that it costs to start karting. This is what F1 Academy should be. Get the girls at karting age and bring them up through the ranks, not start those at 21 in a baby car. I'm looking at the F1 Academy restrictions. It's from 16 to 25, and you only can compete for a maximum of 2 seasons. With that being said, by the time girls are starting F1 Academy, the counterparts are already in F3, F2, and even F1, winning world championships. Higher on the map is equal footing. And then you're giving these girls 2 years to try to make them right up the runnings to F3. There's multiple people in F1 and F2 that have been there for multiple seasons. That's ridiculous. Dix was talking about the pyramid. F1 Academy is supposed to be a stepping block to F3, F2, F1. It is not. It's literally a crutch that goes absolutely nowhere. Sort of like they made F1 Academy and made it pink and blue and pretty just to get women and girls to shut up and say, oh, we're inclusive without doing any real work. And this is where I actually agree with Mrs. Williams, where she says here. She says, why can't women train their body to be at the level of F1 drivers, which is kind of impossible. Because when you think about it, like the G-forces and everything else that goes, you can train your body to reach that certain level. Do you really think NASA's are training men astronauts and women astronauts differently? No, it's the same G-forces. Another example of G-force training is the same we may treat you in the military. They treat men and women in aerial to learn how to take the same amount of G-forces. So if they can do that for the military, why can't you do that for F1? And not that it's anyone's concern, but any person who's wondering, oh, G-forces may hurt a woman's reproductive system, blah, blah, blah. Women can do it out themselves without you having to add your 2 cents to it. And then she's talking about, oh, this is not how society's embraces women to treat their bodies. Well, that's what F1 Academy is. Change the age, get some trainers to train girls at karting level to have this physical ability. Like I said, F1 Academy is wasting money because they're giving from 16 to 25, 2 years to try to make these girls get to the F3. It's physically not going to happen. So let me take a break from Miss Williams and let's look at the car itself. Looking at the farthest left car on the screen, that is what an F1 Academy car looks like. So looking at this in real time, F3 is still bigger and it's the placement of the wheels that change between the F1 Academy and the F3. How does this equal footing if the car is smaller? If F1 Academy is trying to get girls as a viewer program to get to the level of F1, change the car to an F3 car or divide F1 Academy into 2 groups. So by dividing F1 Academy into 2 groups and increasing the seasons and decreasing the age to at least 11 or 12, this can be a true feeder program. The younger half can train in the F1 and drive in the F1 Academy cars. The other half need to be driving in F3 cars. Real quickly, looking at this, it's the McLaren F1 2024 and F1 Academy. There's a 3 feet difference. That is ridiculous. Now, with the cars getting smaller, and maybe women drivers, girl drivers will have an advantage since now there's more people on the grid, smaller car. But the way we stand it before definitely was a sap. So besides looking at the size of the car, let's look at how many horsepowers and how fast each car can go compared to an F1 Academy car. Well, to compare this, let's have a baseline of an F0 car. It appears an F1 Academy car. We have the horsepower 180, we have 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds and 250 kilometers per hour. At left readings, we're looking at 380. 0 to 100 in 3.1 seconds and 300 kilometers per hour. That class 2, we're looking at 620 HP, 0 to 100 in 2.9 and 335 kilometers. Then lastly, we have F1, which is 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 100 in 2.2 seconds, and a top speed at 350 kilometers per hour. Now, without going through all the analytics, looking at these three key statistics, how can you say F1 Academy is doing what they need to do to make sure that women can compete in F1? We're already giving girls smaller cars, safer cars, well, safer in air quotes, slower cars, and then you want them to compete in F3 and F2? It's impossible. Because what until next person I have to critique in this video, as it stands right now, the system in F1 Academy is not good enough and it's not going to produce good enough drivers to compete in the likes of F3 and F2. And that's really sad because if you have this whole academy for women and the goal is to get them to F1, you're not doing anything with them and it's kind of a waste of everybody's time. So I found this YouTube happenstance because I was looking for the Hello Kitty F1 Academy promotion, and I came across this picture, not realizing this is the director of F1 Academy, Ann Wolf, and I did know her as Tona Wolf's Life. Like I said, I just started this journey like 5 years ago, so forgive me. So I started doing a little more research on her and what qualifications that she had. She was a race driver. She drove for Williams. She drove in F3. So I can't for the life of me understand how did she miss this and how was she not hoping F1 Academy get to way farther than where it should be. Well, like I said before, I don't know any of these people. I don't believe in parasocial relationships, but I am giving her the side eye because if she knows what it takes to get to F3, why isn't F1 Academy used as a funnel to get girls where they need to be? So now that we have two women to speak on women being in F1 and all this, and then we have the director having an integral part in actually being at F3, we'll drop the ball. And I hate to say this, but I'm looking at both of these women and kind of giving them still a side eye because you know what it takes, and yet you're not using what you know to make F1 Academy better. You're still making it this country club vibe. And we know that we want F1 to be like this exclusive luxury. I did it. I understand. I love that part of F1. But if we're trying to get more girls in the sport, that's not what needs to happen. And I keep talking about this funnel scenario, so let's just show it like this. F1 Academies goes to get more girls into F1 as a sport. But right now, you're using F1 Academy to use it for capital gain. So like I've said, NBA, love it. Go ahead, get your money. But do not use Hello Kitty as this emphasis of you can do anything and not really do anything to help girls in the sport. They're not paying me, so I'm not going to give all my ideas out here. If they want to hear my ideas, they can hire me. Speaking about hiring, when they open up positions, and I've applied, they're getting a certain standard of person in there, if you catch my drift. That is not how this is supposed to happen. Now, I am all for give the best person for the job. Like, if you're talking about we're all for diversity and inclusion, using these catchphrases, show it in the people who you are hiring. And I'm the type of person that diversity and inclusion means diversity in ideas and thought. But diversity of thoughts and ideas also come from diversity in people as well. So, I am not understanding how they're dropping the ball on that. So, back to what I was saying, let's give an idea of how F1 Academy should actually use this for their benefit. And if you use the Hello Kitty symbology that F1 Academy is partnering with Hello Kitty, this is how that you could spin it to make it more beneficial for F1 as a whole. So the marketing, if Hello Kitty can, you can. Different things like that. Show Hello Kitty gift card. Show her in the pyramids of how to get to Formula 1. Show her in the gym. Show her So, Brad, reflect in real life. So, like I said, show her in the gym, show her go-kart, and show her doing all these different steps. And then the big event is competing in Vegas. And honestly, I haven't been following F1 Academy's schedule. That why are they doing this in Vegas? Why not in Japan? Did I miss did I miss something? Now I can understand from business perspective, ride Vegas, money, all that, got it. But if you had it make sense, why is this not race not done in Japan? Now, would it be cool if they introduce this in Vegas? Then they keep her Candy coming up and her final world championship place isn't too bad, or now that would be cool. Just taking a step back from the Hello Kitty talk, because as an Abbott fan, no more Hello Kitty slander is allowed. But let's talk about actual things F1 Academy can do to help girl divers. Like Miss Claire Williams said, girls are not karting, not even starting young. So do deals with Hello Kitty. Bring a Hello Kitty accessory, get caught days for free, or 30 minutes for free. And speaking of deals, like I said myself, don't know anything about karting, but I know how expensive it is. So get Hello Kitty to sponsor girls or sponsor less fortunate girls to do it. And even at that, I know how important sponsorships are for the whole. So find teams that are looking for, hey, a big sis and a mini, or something like that, so we can get more girls on the track. Honestly, we should be in the schools, in high schools, in inner city schools, wherever girls are, to say, hey, have you thought of coding? Have you thought of engineering? Have you thought of trim and design? Because I could tell you right now, I would not be in this situation if I had somebody maybe even 10 years ago say, hey, did you know F1 is actually possible for you? The respect as a whole is so close-knit. If your parents or family is not interested in it, you'll never figure out until you reach out and find it yourself. So this is how we get more people into the sport. And having summer programs or a month program or just a course in the normal school day of showing them what it takes to get into careers like this. So using the example of the civil rights movement, history lesson. If you fight for the rights or whatever for one person, it has this trickle-down effect that helps everybody else out. Right now, honestly, a part of me would like to see F1 Academy rebrand as up-and-coming drivers, not just friendly girls, because I want them to funnel through to get to F1. Perhaps like me, and if we start going into schools picking out girls, you're going to find multiple other people that are male drivers that want to join in. And if there's enough of them, F1 Academy can be just F4. And bit by getting them in high school, with this new awakening of what careers out there, by the time that they're in university and graduate, you'll have this fresh group of people. And the companies that do way better, teams that do way better with opening the amount of internships for each company. Because it's ridiculously small how little amount there are, and F1 Academy isn't helping with that number either. Honestly, as F1 Academy stands, I think it's all just lip service. They're saying we're hoping girls get to F1, and girls are barely even making it to F3. So what is the point of this academy if it's not helping? And like I said, because I am an avid Hello Kitty fan, I did want to give my 2 cents before I go on holiday. But yeah, this just really annoys me, and I'm kind of sad. Now, I already said that I am probably the biggest hypocrite, because am I still going to purchase an F1 Academy Hello Kitty t-shirt when I find it? Yes, because I love Hello Kitty. That doesn't mean, while I'm wearing my Hello Kitty shirt and have a red bow in my hair, I can't tear F1 Academy to bits at everything they're doing wrong in the name of Hello Kitty. So this brings me to a little story. As you see, I've gone to the shooting range multiple times, and I like long-range shooting. Anyone knows long-range shooting, you're going to get a bigger kickback. So, if girls want to learn how to handle the kickback, you teach them how to handle the kickback. You give him tips to handle the kickback. Like, I come from a military family, so it's kind of the point where I went to the gym with my brother and my parents to learn how to get the upper body strength to handle this type of force. And what does that eventually mean? It means that now I am able to handle the force and be as competitive as my male counterparts. And before you go to copy like, oh gosh, no she can't, look at the one randoms in the 7s and 8 range. We're all using the same target, those were my friends. I'm in the lovely right in 9. But I digress, my point still stands. Meet the girls where they're at and train them and teach them and give them equal footing so they can be as competitive as their male counterpart. Stop trying to handle them with kid gloves. However, until that happens, the actions speak louder than words. I will not trust anything F1 Academy does until I can see an actual change, but I will be supporting the Hello Kitty. On Wednesday, if I ever do go to a Japanese GP and they have Hello Kitty there, I'm gonna have a heart attack and lose my mind because back to amazing. But like I said, I am going on holiday. Then I need to edit this video and post it before I leave, so I'm done talking about this subject until the rant video comes out or F1 Academy does something else annoying. So I am still on this break while I get my career path working out while I apply for universities and all that good jazz. So, yeah, I have a couple videos that I've pre-recorded that will come out soon. So if everything goes well, I will hopefully see you guys in fall of next year. But until that time, you can catch me on a beach drinking a cocktail out of a teacup. So I'll see you guys there. Well, this sleepover is over. The tea has been spilled, the pillows are flattened, and there's really nothing left to say. Remember, as always, I'm just a girl with her mic, her teacups, and tires, just brewing the ultimate mix of style and speed, so I'll see you at the checkered flag.